Assalamualaikum and selamat sejahtera to everyone who is watching. So this is a discussion of us from Group 1E, which consists of Audrey, Kira, me, Khairul, Yong, and Alicia. So five of us are going to discuss a little bit about this trigger that we got for our PBL, which entitled as Threats to Wild Freshwater Fish Population. So proceed to the next slide. We managed to found like difficult terms that we don't like clearly understand from the trigger, which is livelihood, gaming industries, recreation industries, and backbone. And we have discussed all this. We have managed to carry out the answer and the explanation about what is the difficult term itself. So right now we are open for discussion for this trigger. So maybe anyone got any idea what is going on with this trigger?
Okay, from the trigger that I have read is, I got about the freshwater fish are a crucial source of food for many people around the world.
I agree with you, Kira. But then maybe can you tell me what are the learning outcomes that you can extract from this issue that you just stated?
For me, for the learning outcome is to state what type of fish can be consumed, and we have to learn about the possibility of the fish when it is endangered. And what do you think for the idea of this fact?
I think maybe we can get some idea, like maybe we can ask questions like what are the examples of fishes taken for food, and maybe what happens if freshwater fishes is endangered.
Maybe can I hear from Alicia on what are your thoughts on this figure?
So I think the example of fishes taken for food are catfish, largemouth bass, trout, and salmon. And for the what happen if freshwater fish is endangered is a poverty, malnutrition, and starvation would grow if fish become unavailable as a food source. However, if bollworm forecasts come true, this will be the least of our concern. A world devoid of fish is a terrifying thought. Life, as we know it, will be impossible without them.
So Audrey, do you feel like agreeing to the statement that has been stated by your friend Alicia just now?
Sorry?
Audrey.
Yeah, I agree with what she has stated for the idea, for the both of the idea.
All right. Okay. So moving on, maybe anyone else would like to give any thoughts about this trigger?
I found another in this trigger. This which they said about they are also important for games and recreation industries. Do you agree about this fact?
I'm agree, but I'm kind of confused. Like, what based on what? Why do you say so? Like, what can you learn from this statement that you just stated?
From this statement, I learned about the recreation industry that affect freshwater fish. I also discovered the place of the freshwater recreation that takes place in Malaysia. Do you agree about it?
Can someone else explain furthermore to me about this?
So for this trigger, we can find that how does freshwater fish affect recreation industries, and also where does freshwater recreation takes place. So for the first one, in many industrialized countries, recreation fishing is the major or sole usage of many freshwater fish species, and it's important in coastal areas is fast expanding. So where we can find it, we can find it in freshwater lakes in Malaysia, which is in Lake Chini, Tasik Biru, Lake Kenir, and Lake Bara. Do you agree with this? Does everyone agree?
Yep.
Yes, I understand now. Thank you, Audrey.
Yeah.
Definitely agreeing to that idea. So I myself want to put out my thoughts on this trigger itself. So for me, However, and freshwater fish are disappearing fast, and there is not much we are doing about this sentence. Like actually have a more meaning to it that I feel so. Next slide.
That is a very good statement. I feel like maybe we can learn something from the statement that Kairu just stated just now. Maybe like we can learn how to identify the cause of the disappearance of freshwater fish, or we can learn to identify the plan from authorities towards endangered freshwater fish.
Kira, next slide.
The reason why I would say so is because I get certain ideas from the learning outcome. And the first idea is, why is freshwater fish disappearing? This is because freshwater rivalry is heating up around the world with hydropower, municipal use industry, commercial development, and agriculture all vying for it. Rivers are being dammed and redirected, lakes and wetlands are being drained, fish habitats are being altered, nutrients are being lost, and inland water all around the world are altering in ways that affect fish in great and tiny ways.
Kira, next.
And for second idea from the learning outcome just now is that what is the authority plan towards endangered freshwater fish? This is because for the past 30 years, the Upper Colorado Endangered Fish Recovery Program has worked quietly behind the scenes to ensure that the water users in the upper basin comply with the Endangered Species Act ESA. The program's goal is to achieve full recovery of the 4 federally listed endangered fish species in the upper basin. That's my thought.
That's a good thought from Yong, I think. So maybe Alicia got something to give to this table. What are your thoughts about this figure?
I think
Next slide, Kira.
the next one I think is global warming, climate change, and pollution also play a role in killing wild freshwater fish population.
So what are your thoughts about this? What do you see in this sentence? Kira, next slide.
So the learning outcome I got from this statement is to identifying the effect of climate change on the freshwater fish population.
All right. So Audrey, do you feel like it's a good fact for you to accept in this discussion?
Yeah, I agree with it. And I can add it, the reason that I agree with it, because in the first idea, how does global warming and climate change and pollution affect the freshwater fish population? So by increasing global temperature can affect individual fish by altering physiological functions such as thermal tolerance, growth, metabolism, food consumption, reproductive success, and the ability to maintain internal homeostasis in the face of a variable external environment.
Thank
So
you,
maybe
Audrey.
Kira. Hello.
Hello.
So maybe Kira has any thoughts also from this figure itself.
Yes, I have some thought of this triggered due to fishing and other activities, while freshwater fish stock is decreasing around the world. So from my outcome is people need to learn about the illegal activities that may cause decreasing of fish stock, and then they have to learn on how to prevent from decreasing percentage of daily catch. Okay, Young, what do you think about the learning outcome?
Yeah, I agree with you. But then I have certain ideas coming out from the learning outcome that you stated. Perhaps someone can tell me like what are the type of activities that can reduce the fish stock and how to overcome the decreasing percentage of daily fish catch. Can someone tell me that, or someone answer my question?
The type of activity,
Yeah,
please.
you go
so
ahead.
the type of activity can reduce the fish stock by trolling the fish using an appropriate mesh size of the net until the small fish can be caught inside the net, and can reduce the fish stock, besides can damage the seabed and the coral while trolling. So the next idea that you asked is how to overcome the decreasing percentage of daily fish catch. So the best solution is to the problem of declining fisheries is to rebuild overexploited stocks and ecosystem by relieving fishing pressure, improving gear selective and fishing exploitation patterns, protecting habitats, and making a wise and generous use of the protected area and not tax zone.
Yeah, I feel like it's a very good idea from Yong and a very, very good explanation from our friend here, Audrey. So maybe Alicia, do you have like any more thoughts toward this trigger? Maybe do you have your own idea in your own way?
I think the last thought I think about this trigger is if wild fish species continue to decrease in freshwater ecosystem, there could be serious impact on the wild ecosystem.
Yeah, maybe you can explain more of what the things that you get to learn in this
And the
sentence.
and the learning outcome I got from this segment is to learn about various type of fish species in the freshwater system in Malaysia, to understand the serious impact to wild ecosystem, and the last one is to know the factor why wild species keep decreasing in the freshwater ecosystem.
Would anyone would like to add?
For the idea of this fact is what is the impact on the wild ecosystem? So I want to ask Audrey on what is the impact.
So the impact on the wild ecosystem is the freshwater ecosystem are home to more than 40% of the world's fish species. So despite their value and importance, many lakes, rivers, and wetlands around the world are being severely damaged by human activities and are declining at a much faster rate than terrestrial ecosystem. So as the freshwater ecosystem is becoming more polluted, at some point, species extinction can be expected. So everyone agree on this one?
Yep.
Yep, I agree with Audrey.
Yes, I agree to agree.
Yeah, so maybe I have another question also from my side. So Kira, maybe you can go to the next slide. So what is the factor that causes the decrease of wild species in the ecosystem? Maybe Yong can answer this question.
Yeah, I think I have a answer to that. The factor causing wild fish to keep decreasing are because of threats from human activity, such as overfishing, marine pollution, habitat loss, land building, and the introduction of invasive species. For example, there are around 40% of North American freshwater fish species that have become imperiled in recent decades. And since 19,000, at least 57 species of freshwater fish in North America have gone extinct. That is my explanation for your idea, KA.
All right, thank you. So I feel like we have talked a lot, we have discussed a lot about this trigger itself. We managed to extract out all the important things that we feel that we should study more about uh, this idea that we got from our brainstorming session. So I feel like Kira can proceed to the last slide, which I thank you all for this discussion today. Thank you for giving your thoughts. Thank you for helping us out on what is this trigger itself. And thank you for the one who are watching right now. We are done with our presentation, Group 1E. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.